Dimitri James here, Virtual Financial again. Hope you're having a great day. Today, I want to talk to everyone about why it's so important to have life insurance outside of your actual job. A couple questions you're going to want to ask yourself. Now, first question you want to ask is, how much do you actually pay monthly for your life insurance policy that you have through work? The truth of the matter is that most people, most of you out there, have no idea how much you're paying for your life insurance policy out there through work. The only thing that you know is that they take it out of your paycheck. Some of you are getting just the bare minimum for free because your job offers that. That's wonderful. If you have an opportunity to get free life insurance, you take it every single time. If you have an opportunity for them to match an amount equaling your contribution or the amount that you elect, you want to take advantage of that opportunity every time. Free is always going to be the best price no matter where you're at, okay? Another thing you need to know with your life insurance policy, if you're paying for it, is that life insurance policy, the price on it, it does change over time. Now, you probably don't notice it because, again, they're taking it out of your paycheck before you ever get your paycheck, and so all you're seeing is the net. You're not seeing what's coming out off of the front end before you actually get your paycheck or your paycheck stub, however that works. But most insurance companies, even when it comes to a policy that you get through your job, it's going to have, the price is going to change at least once annually, or sometimes if it's a better policy, maybe once every 5 years or so. But again, you need to know how much you're actually paying for your life insurance policy. Why is that important? Because you need to know, be able to compare it from apples to apples, how much you're paying through work versus being able to pay for your own policy. Sometimes you'll find that you may be paying more for a policy that you have through work than you'd be able to get a policy on your own. Why is that so important? It's always about having control of your actual policy and your finances, all right? Question number 2, where is your copy? Most of the people that I talk to that have life insurance through work do not have a copy of their policy, which means they don't know the details of their policy. They don't know the exclusions on that policy. The other thing is that means that your family also doesn't have a copy of your policy. Let me explain something, folks. It's more important for your beneficiaries, your loved ones, who the money is going to go to have a life insurance policy than it is for you to have a policy. By all means, if something happens to you, they need to know exactly where to go to find that insurance policy, because they're the ones that need to be able to claim that money and take care of all the financial situations and circumstances that now they are left with to deal with alone. Does that make sense? So, next question I want you to ask yourself is, how long is it going to take for them to actually get access to that money on that life insurance policy through your company? Most people think, oh, well, my company will take care of it because they're a good company. Yeah, they probably are a good company. I won't disagree with you there. But ask yourself, when you're at work and you have to come out of your own pocket for, let's say, pencils, a notepad, anything, how long does it take you to get reimbursed? How many forms do you have to fill out at your HR office in order just to get reimbursed? Can you imagine how long it's going to take for your family that doesn't have a copy of that life insurance policy to get a copy of that policy and then to actually get the money from that policy? Most funerals are happening within a week, folks, and bills don't stop showing up. You know, if something happened to you right before your last paycheck or right after your last paycheck, those bills are still coming in. They still need to get paid. Food still needs to be on the table. Kids still got to go to school. Still need gas in the car. Does that make sense? Good. The other thing when it comes to making sure that your family's got a policy or have a copy of your policy, I want each and every one of you listening to me to do this. This is important. You need to do this. Now, go to your human resources department and request a copy of your policy if you don't have a copy of it. I'm not talking about a printout of 1 sheet or 2 sheets. A life insurance policy is a contract. You should have anywhere from 5 to maybe 20 pages on that thing. All right, an actual policy that has all the stipulations, all the exclusions, all the language. It's a contract, folks. You need to have a copy of that contract, and you need to know who the beneficiaries are. You need to be able to update that information as things change. You may have a younger person in the family that needs a little bit more because they they're going to need more money in order to get through life. You may have a couple of adult children that, they got their own jobs, they have their own families, they don't necessarily need 50% of that life insurance policy. Where you have another child that's, still in high school, and maybe they're going to need a greater portion instead of just 50%. Maybe they need 75% to help offset education costs, things of that nature. So you want to have access to that policy so you can make adjustments along the way as well. Does that make sense? Good, perfect. Again, once you do this exercise, go and see how long it's going to take you to get a copy of your policy through your job. I want you to think to yourself, wow, how long would it have taken my family to get a copy of that policy? Again, they don't work there. They have to prove that they're even, your family. There's a lot of documentation, a lot of process in this, folks. And again, things are happening. The funeral home is not waiting for your family to get access to that policy. Does that make sense? So you want to alleviate some of the stress on your loved ones by making sure that not only do you have a copy of that policy somewhere that everybody knows about, but that your loved one, specifically the beneficiaries that you've named on that policy that you want the money to go to, they have an actual copy in their hand as well. All right? Perfect. Next question, I want you to think to yourself, how long do you plan on being at your current job? Today, most people are not staying at their current job for more than 5 years. We're kind of I wouldn't say job hopping, but our career aspirations are taking us along multiple steps or multiple routes along the way. It used to be back in the day, you go to a factory job and you'd be there for 20, 30 years. They'd give you a pen at the end and you'd retire, and you'd also have some sort of retirement package. Those days are long gone, folks. So now, this is what I want you to understand. Every time that you switch jobs, you're probably aware of this by now, you lose that life insurance coverage that you had. So now this means you have to go and reapply. Oftentimes you have to be there for a certain amount of time before you even can apply to have life insurance coverage on yourself in order to help your family should something happen to you and you're not there to help provide for them. So this is a big deal. You want to make sure that you don't have any lapse in coverage. That's another reason why it's important to have your own life insurance policy outside of work. Even if you have, an income disruption or job disruption, you have a policy that's in place that's going to take care of your family, heaven forbid, if something should happen through that transition period. Does that make sense? I thought it would. Next question you want to ask yourself is, if you're one of those people that do see yourself retiring at your current job, all right, well, how much is a policy going to cost you at retirement? If you're going to be there for the next 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years, how much more money is it going to cost you once you retire in order to get a policy put in place? All right. Remember inflation. I got some numbers up here and we'll go over that a little bit, but oftentimes the price of the policy that you can get today, if you wait till retirement, if you're fortunate enough to retire at the same place, it's going to be double, if not triple, sometimes even more than that, the cost that you would be able to lock that price in for right now. Oftentimes what I see when I'm doing consultations, just like this one, is that the actual policy is cost prohibitive, meaning that it's just irrational to try and pay for a policy that will be worth having at that point, because the price upon retirement for an insurance policy is just so astronomically high. You're used to paying, or not even used to paying, you're used to your old company just taking those funds out of your paycheck before you ever saw them. So you never even really noticed it. And then you only become aware and you think to yourself, it's too much once you have to go out and get it yourself. So you don't want to wait too long on that. You want to try and lock in the price as soon as possible, because that's going to be as cheap as you're going to get. The sooner you get it, the less expensive it's going to be for you, okay? Next question is, for those of you who think, okay, well, I don't need to wait till retirement, but I can wait another 5 years, another 10 years. At some point, I'll go ahead and get my own life insurance policy, but for now, I'm just going to ride out with what my company is providing me. Listen, what happens if you get diagnosed with some sort of illness or ailment that you can live with, but will now make you unable to get qualified for an actual life insurance policy? These things happen, folks. And unfortunately, it's a contract, and you have to be able to qualify. It's kind of like having a car insurance policy. You can't get covered for an accident that you can't get coverage on a car insurance policy today for an accident that you had yesterday. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure that you get that thing locked in place before something happens, while you're still healthy, because these are all going to help make sure that you have access to the best rates, okay? Next question is, can you access money to help you out in instances of time off work, or to help you get the medical treatment that you need for time off work or health reasons, things of that nature? Your life insurance policy through work, it doesn't offer that. A life insurance policy with living benefits will offer you or make available to you up to 90% of that actual policy, so that you can access that money tax-free in order to help supplement your income if you had to take some disability type time off, or if you had to go and get some kind of medical treatment, a surgery, whatever the case may be, for health related issues in the event of a chronic illness, a critical illness, or heaven forbid, a terminal illness. Again, this is going to be built into your policy. These are financial things that you want to be prepared for and not bombarded with. Does that make sense? Awesome. The next question is, how much is your life insurance for? You'd be surprised how many people have no idea how much their life insurance policy through their job is even for. Oftentimes what will happen is people will start a job and they'll elect the minimum, or they'll elect what their job is actually going to match. But over time, because you never have a copy of your policy, you never see how much is coming out, you don't even think about it. The beneficiaries on there may be outdated. Your life situation may have changed, and you have no idea how much your policy is even for. People oftentimes, when I sit down and have a consultation with them, they're often shocked at how little amount of coverage that they have. People just assume that it's going to be a reasonable amount. Unfortunately, folks, that's usually not the case in the consultations that I have. Next question. When's the last time you spoke to the advisor? Understand this. There is someone on the back end of that policy that you have through your job that's like me, that actually gets paid for you actually having a life insurance policy. So I understand that you're afraid to have a conversation with a life insurance representative or an agent, but someone's getting paid for that. The least that they could do is actually sit down and have a conversation with you from time to time to make sure they go over your specific family situation, your specific needs, desires, wants. If they're going to be a financial advisor, meaning they're going to help you with any of your finances or your family's finances, the least that they could do is actually advise you. Wouldn't you agree? Now let's take it a little step further. In the event that you were to pass away, instead of your family trying to scramble around and figure out where's a copy of the life insurance policy, how much is it for, how long is the money going to take, having to prove that they're related to you because they're having to go through your HR at work, how about if all they had to do was reach out to an actual advisor like myself, and then I could help them through all those details? Does that make sense? You're trusting the person that's on the other end of that company that you're paying that money to without you even realizing it. Are you trusting them to actually reach out to your family? Are you trusting them to help your family through that bereavement process? They haven't even talked to you. Chances of it happening are slim to none. So you want to get a policy that you own, that you have control with, and you want it to be with someone that you're comfortable working with, because after all, this is who you're entrusting your financial situation for your family to. And also, you want to make sure that as time goes on, they're able to help you make sure that you're in the right situation financially, help you make your money work for you, help you get the most out of it, things of that nature. Conversations are free, folks. They're as free as this video that you're watching. All right. Now, what I want to do is I want to go through a couple of examples here just to kind of get your brain wrapped around how those numbers look over time and things of that nature. So what I've done is I've put together a life insurance policy, an actual quote for $100,000 that's going to last for 30 years, and it also includes those living benefits. Remember, those living benefits are going to be allow you to access up to 90% or $90,000 of this $100,000 policy in the event you need it because you have to deal with a chronic illness, a critical illness, or heaven forbid, a terminal illness. All right? And remember, that money is going to be tax-free. So at age 30, a 30-year policy, $100,000 with living benefits for a man would run $23.39. For a woman, it would run $18.06. At age 40, that same 30-year policy for $100,000 in living benefits, that's going to take you all the way to age 70. For a man, that's going to run $34.14. For a woman, it's going to run $28.55. Look here, folks. It's already jumped over $10. All right? And those are prices today. We're not even taking into account inflation. Let's go down to age 50. Age 50, same $100,000, same 30 years time span, going to take you to age 80 now, with the same living benefits that give you access to up to 90 grand in the event that you have a chronic illness, critical illness, or heaven forbid, a terminal illness. Again, that money's tax-free. That cost today, actual quote, for a man would be $68.03. For a woman, $55.38. Listen, it's tripled within the last from age 30 to age 50. It's doubled in the last over a 10-year type lifespan. Again, you want to lock in the price, the lowest price, the cheap price, because it's gonna that's the financially reasonable thing to do. You want to keep as much money in your pocket, but you want to get the most bang for your buck. All right. Once you're locked in, once you're qualified, then you can. It's a contract, folks. You can't break it on your end. They can't break it on their end. All right. So when we're talking about inflation, remember we were talking about just how much of a difference it is just in the last 10 years, much less the last 20 years. I live in Arizona. I know this is going out to everyone around the country. And again, here at Virtual Financial, most of my clients are not in Arizona. They're scattered around the country. I work in all 50 states. I work in parts of Canada, and I also work in Puerto Rico. So wherever you're at, we can still help you. We can still have a conversation, all right? I'd love to talk to you. But going back to Arizona, just think about gas prices when you're talking about inflation. Back in 2000, average cost of a gallon of gas here in Arizona, just regular old unleaded, was about $1.19. In 2009, that same gallon of gas costed $1.91. That's almost double. Now in 2012, remember we're still working our way through the recession and all that stuff. It was almost double what it was in 2009. That's only a 3-year difference, $3.87. Now today things are a little bit more reasonable at about $2.56 a gallon. But again, you guys all see it go up and down throughout the year. It seems like anytime it gets hotter, the gas prices go up. I don't know why. That's some other expert's area of expertise. But again, the point I'm trying to make is when you're taking into account, okay, about what is it going to cost me if I'm 30 years old when I turn 40? Okay, these are the prices this is the price difference it would cost you today. We haven't taken into account inflation, and you need to, because again, things don't tend to get cheaper. They tend to become more expensive over time, all right? I hope all this is helpful to you all. Don't forget that your homework is to go to your HR department. Get yourself a copy. You can make your own copies for your family, but you need to know how much you're paying for that. How much is that actual policy for? Remember, you don't have living benefits in it, so you need to put something in place. And again, it's more important for your beneficiaries, your loved ones that you want the money to go to have a copy of that policy than it is for you. I'll tell you a neat little trick. A lot of people keep their life insurance policy in the freezer. Why do we keep it in the freezer? Funny thing about it is if your house were to burn down, your freezer is going to be like a safety deposit box. It's kind of insulated to where it doesn't burn up. A lot of people actually leave money inside the freezer. That's why they call it cold hard cash. You ever heard of that before? Free tip for you, huh? All right, so again, my crusade, as you guys all know by now, is just to spread financial literacy across the United States. I'm only one person. I can't do this alone. I could really use your help. Now, up here it says we're hiring. What this means is that Again, I need your help to help me spread this information, financial literacy, across the United States. And for that, we want to compensate you. If you have a background in social media, whether that's Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, or some other platform that I'm not familiar with, then we need your help getting this information out to your audience and to your followers. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel as a first step. But again, for helping us reach at least one person, our average cost or our average compensation to someone that just helps us reach that person is about $585. Now, here's the kicker on that. That same $585 will continue to show up in most cases for up to 10 years on the anniversary date of the date that we actually helped that person or were able to help that person. Now, what that means is in total, that's $5,850 on average for just helping us help one person. Now, everyone that we reach, we're not able to help, but people that we are, this is how we want to be able to say thank you to you for helping us reach this audience. Again, it's a crusade. I'm only one person. I can't do it all by myself. I'm hoping you'll help me. For more information on our crusade and our products, please go to DimitriJames.com. For more information on our roles and our positions, please go to DimitriJames.agency. If you're an entrepreneur and have another business, or if you're already self-employed, or if you work at home, please go to my website, DimitriJames.biz, and let's see if maybe there's a way to help provide you residual income, passive income, just by partnering with me. All right. If you want to cut through all the chase, if you want to have a conversation about, what does it look like for you to have a life insurance policy of your own that you control, that you have, that your family has access to, where I can be your advisor, or if you want to talk about the business opportunity, please make an appointment on my calendar. That's go.oncehub.com/DimitriJames. Again, that's go.oncehub.com/DimitriJames. Hey, I really appreciate your time today. I'd really like to speak with you. Please put yourself on my calendar. Have a great rest of your day. God bless.